Listener discretion is advised. This episode contains discussions about domestic violence, abuse, and self-harm.
Yes, I'm ready to go. I'm so excited.
Me too.
I think it was the best doing it with a woman. And my biggest fear has always been women.
Yeah.
Biggest thing to get over is that the fear of women will like me.
Today's guest is Aradia, a woman whose life story is as powerful as it is multidimensional. From serving as a parole officer to navigating the justice system as a criminal lawyer, Aradia has seen humanity at its most raw and unfiltered. But her journey does not end there. She's the author of the Book of Aradia, coming soon, and carries with her the wisdom of reincarnation, the strength of surviving domestic violence, and the power of embracing her identity as a witch. We'll speak about resilience, truth, and the courage to live authentically. Aradia's story is one of survival, transformation, and reclaiming her own magic. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so honoured and excited to be on your podcast.
I have been looking forward to this. I've been watching your stories on social media, and the way that you speak just gets me. You have the most amazingly incredible sing-song, rhythmically rhyming numbers, letters. I just love it.
Oh, I love that you love it because, what I've learned in my journey is that, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. And that for me, because I'm the youngest of my family and my dad spoils me rotten, and he loves me endlessly. So it's kind of that core wound of like, oh, please love me. And then I'm like, I've made peace with it. Not everybody has to love me.
I think that comes with age.
Yes.
And I think I'm the same too. So a bit of a people pleaser. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be comfortable. And then at some point, I just realized I can't be everything for everybody.
I know. And you have to make peace with that. And because I find for me, it actually hurts me to my core that someone doesn't love.
Yeah.
And then I just sit with it and I go, it's okay.
But you wonder also where that comes from. Is it jealousy, or they're a little bit confronted because you're an outgoing girl, I'm an outgoing girl, and maybe they're a bit more shy?
So my father, and when my father says things to me, my father is very wise. And I listen to what he says and then I go, okay, don't take on board what he says because otherwise it will be a limiting belief. However, he said to me that because, and this is for every woman, it's essentially like could be intimidated, or threatened, or it makes them feel uncomfortable because, and he said, the way you speak, and he said, when you've spoken to me, dolls, I can find at times it's like you're putting me down. And he said, it's not because you're doing it intentionally. It's because of the way you speak. And I notice it when I appear in court, and I'm generally in the local court. I myself, when I walk into a courtroom, if there's a woman on the bench, I'm far more frightened.
Are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I've appeared and we see the same people, when it's a man, I personally feel more comfortable because the only parent that raised me the most was my father for 7 years. Women are powerful. Women are frightening.
Confronting, yes.
They are, because women don't take SHIT. They say it how it is, especially a woman in power. A woman that's a magistrate on a bench, you can't fool them. They see through it.
Yeah.
And they're very matter of fact because they just know, I feel like women step into that real motherly, this is right and that is wrong.
Yeah. I also do find men a lot easier to get along with. I've got 2 older brothers, so maybe it's a little bit of that too. But I can actually get along with anybody. So I can level up or level down depending on wherever they are. I can communicate and get along with anybody. But some women in my life, I've just instantly felt, oh, they're not a Belle fan. They're not a fan of me. Absolutely.
Because you know that this is not going to go well.
And why do we need it?
No, you
I
don't need the
it.
drama.
No. Now, let's start with a little bit about your life. Tell
Yeah.
me about little Aradia. Tell
Yep.
me about you when you were young. What did life look like?
Absolutely. I'm so excited to share this with you because it's like been this puzzle. And when I was at Warren Community Corrections, they do puzzles
Yeah.
to break up because you're dealing with so much heaviness.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was born in April of 1986, and I specifically say that date because of the Netflix series Netflix 2:22.
Yep.
He's born in April 1986. His partner is born April
Same
1986.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, the man and the woman are born on the same month and the same year as what I am. And in the movie, he sees patterns and he sees that history's repeated itself. It's a brilliant movie. And I was like, this is freaky because that's my book.
Yeah.
So I'm born April 1986. My sister is Adrian, named after Rocky Balboa's wife, and I'm the fighter, right? Born obviously to two parents, a father
By the way,
and a mother.
one of my favorite movies.
Rocky.
Oh God.
Oh, my
yes.
dad loves it.
Yes.
I must say, I've got to watch him again. My father and my sister are the movie buffs. I'm the little, I want to play. And my mum is like, I love my mum. My core wound was my mum. My mum knows I love her. My mum is the ice queen. She's like, just like, no emotion. And the links of my parents' names is relevant to my story. So my father's Frank, he's Italian, middle name John, and that's relevant later in my story. Spano, when I decoded it from corrections, my friend there who I love, who used to call me the lunchtime lawyer, he printed out The Sopranos and put the Spanos under it.
Yeah,
and I had it on my desk.
Surname.
Yes, my surname's Spano.
Yeah.
And in the word, because with my father getting older now, I gave him a finder word. And then when I was looking at the word Sopranos, I was like, this is really cool. If you take 3 letters out, you will see ORS. And in law, you will write, a party's surname, and then you'll say versus or and Spano and oars. And then I was laughing. Australia is surrounded by water. We're literally a boat, right? And oars is row, row, row your boat
Spano
gently down the stream. And it's like, I'm the representation of the family as the lawyer. I am the family's lawyer.
Yeah.
And it's soul family, right? Because all the men and the women that I've represented, they're behind me and I'm standing there representing my soul family.
Yeah.
And what I pieced together later was like their names. It was so cute. They were like den, like lion's den, like little lion cubs. And then the men were like brothers. It's all in the book, obviously. So surname.
So connections. This is what I love.
Right,
You make connections with everything.
Yeah, to piece together, who am I?
Yes.
So born Lauren, when I was born, so I'm the second child of my parents. I was only with my parents in Eastwood for a really short period of time, 2 or 3 years, and then my parents separated. And my father was struggling mentally with running a hairdressing salon of his own. And then he would go fishing. That was his escape. And then he found his purpose later in life as a barber. And my mum and my father, just polar opposites, Scorpio and Aries, they just didn't gel. And my mum went to work, and that's where she met my stepfather, John. So she looked glamorous, beautiful. My dad looked after her. My dad's very soft. Mum's the ice queen. And in her own right, she had every right to leave my father. He didn't cope and she was fine. That's my mum. My mum's very resilient. She will just live through anything.
Did you live with mum or dad?
It was court ordered for my sister and I to live with my mum. And my stepfather, bless his soul, I don't actually really have an issue with my stepfather. He was unkind. However, I actually don't mind him. And so we were raised with my mother and my stepfather up until I was 17. And in that time, I was like a little rebel, trying to find my place in the family dynamics. And I was so diversely different. We'd dial up internet and then everyone's dating. My sister had like one guy, Michael. I'm like, Archangel Michael. Then she met her husband, who she's still with now, Brett, my brother-in-law, who's studying law. So raised in that family, which, it wasn't toxic. It was just more the fact that, my mum did the best that she could with the resources and tools she had at the time. So,
Mm.
and I love my mum. You know, my mum and I are very different. We're very similar, but very different. Similar and more now that I'm getting older. Different in that I have a lot of empathy for my dad and I love my dad. And my mum was like, "No, not for me." And that's okay. And that's what I kept reinforcing as I got older to my father. Like, don't ever hate my mother. Like, it's her decision and she has every right to not want it to be in the marriage.
I love
So,
that. I love that.
well, it was important for him.
Yes.
But and he carries that because he's like, I'm alone.
Yeah.
And she's not, you know, it was just their journey.
Mm.
So I'm with mum. Well, when internet came along, remember it was a big box and we had the phones. The internet was kind of like the worst thing that ever happened to us, really, when we were that age, because that's where pretty much all of my perpetrators of sexual violence was through men online. And that,
Were they strangers?
yep.
Yep.
And that,
Through what?
back
ICQ?
then,
What?
remember MSN?
Yes.
MSN, I can't remember the other.
ICQ?
Yeah, it was Facebook wasn't out yet.
No.
And you know what that was? That wasn't a lack of like, yes, my father worked 7 days a week. He never really saw us. Wasn't his fault. He wanted us.
Were you-
And it wasn't my mother's fault either. My mother was just trying to exist.
And the internet was new.
Yes. And my stepfather, that he was working at Australia Post, they were running an ice cream shop. You fall through the cracks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so you're just in these
How old are you?
situations.
17?
Oh, then
Yeah.
I reckon that started about 15, hun.
Okay.
I think probably about that. You know, you're starting to get curious about men. I was definitely in high school. I went to an all girls, which is why I really don't want my daughter to go to all girls. But everyone, I'm pro choice.
Yeah.
Do whatever. Do you?
Yeah.
I'm not putting any shame on all girls schools whatsoever. Yeah, about 15. And I remember, there was one that was creepy and it was like out in this bush place. And I remember just,
So you went and met somebody online? Oh,
yeah.
and how old was he?
Oh, God. 30s, 40s
Did
now
you
looking
know
back.
he was going to be 30, 40? So Aradia's shaking her head.
Yeah,
So
like,
you did not know.
nah.
So you went to
It's
where?
fluid in. One, I remember this is when I had my license at that stage. So I had my dad's car and he was working up in working up in Hornsby and I was driving my dad's car and I went up towards Newcastle and it was like this really old property and it had like all old cars and crap. And I remember he was so creepy. And I remember just like laying in the bed going, I hope I get out of here.
Oh my God.
So that was, bleh.
So were you groomed essentially?
Yeah. The one that was probably the most traumatic that I really remember was when I was with my mum and we were at Meadowbank at that stage. And where I went to university at University of Sydney, he lived around near there and he went by the name Josh to me, although he wasn't Josh. And I only pieced it together when I was at his house and there was an invitation on his fridge and it had a different name. And I was like, oh, that's not your name. Obviously, I was always just looking for love because I love my mother. However, I didn't feel loved by my mother. And it's only because my mother didn't have, how can you give something that you haven't got? You know, it's just the way she is.
Yes.
So go to there and with my mum and it wasn't my mum's fault. And that's something I want to like throughout the whole thing. It wasn't my mum to blame. I wasn't coping in that environment. My father did the best he could with like giving food and things. And you know this happens still today. A lot of young women do cutting.
Yeah.
So I'd cut there. Can you see the scars there?
Yeah.
So I was cutting because of the pain.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, who my sister, the second boyfriend, is still in our family. They found me. I went to this psychiatrist with my mum, and my mum was like, I think it's just normal teenage stuff, you know? And my sister rang my dad. My dad's like, what's going on? So then I went over to my dad. When I went over to my dad, that's when I changed my name. So born Lauren Alicia Spano. I dropped Lauren as a name because there's just so much trauma attached to it.
So the trauma was from your childhood. Was it also from meeting these people online?
Probably, yeah.
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 And this cutting, it's a cry for help.
It was.
It was 100%.
Yeah, because at the time, I'd actually asked my dad, like, how do I get rid of these people?
Yeah.
Like, I'm in so much pain and it's all being inflicted on, well, you feel like it's being inflicted on you. You're the kid, right? And I was the youngest.
Yeah.
So you were like, can you stop? Whereas the solution was take me out of the environment,
Exactly.
put me in a new environment, put me with my dad.
But it was just a child that's going through trauma and they don't know, how do I make this go away?
So and you're right, that name, it's just the trauma. And it's interesting because when I hear that name, I feel at peace with it now. However, for years, and like writing my autobiography, writing my book, I was like, I'm at peace with the name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for years when I let it go, I was like, don't call me that.
No.
Like it was an insult.
What did you pick up? What name?
So I took my middle name, Alicia, which is the name my father gave me.
Yeah.
And I adopted Alicia, and I chose Isabella because I thought I want a really beautiful name.
It is a beautiful
name. I love Isabella.
Yeah.
I've never changed my surname, and I've been married. So we move forward along the timeline to Alicia Isabella Spano. I say to my father, because at high school I was really good in legal studies, and I got, how back then they had HSC, High Achievers, thingamabob. I don't know what you call it.
I loved legal studies.
So my band for legal studies was the highest. Well, what's interesting is I didn't do mathematics in 11 and 12, but yet I love numbers. So I said to my father, I want to be a lawyer, because I thought, I like that job. Like, that's a cool job, like representing people and going to court and fighting for justice. I feel like I have to credit some of that to my father because he gave me a room in his house and then he gave up the little room and gave me the big room. Like this big sunroom with this little area that I could study. Poor dad. I made him like sit next to me and do assessments, and he didn't know what was going on. And that's where I met, when I was studying, I met Ursula Akpana, who was working for Slater and Gordon. Then he went on to work for himself, and he's in the paper as well. If you look up Ursula Akpana, brilliant lawyer, brilliant. And so I'd met Ursula with Tracy Arnold. Arnold, get it? Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. And I thought that's funny for the book. Like, I'm back. And so studying with him. And at the time when I was at university, my boyfriend, oh my gosh. And it's so funny because now one of my friends in law, his name's Nick Andreas Fuentes, and he's really handsome. And I remember when I was doing my legal practice management course and we did it online, and I was like, that is one handsome lawyer. Like, I know it sounds terrible. Sorry, lawyers, but generally we're not the best looking. Nick loves me. He's like, calls me the Oracle. And studying law, great. I love law, studying, high distinctions. I didn't even know how I did it. It was like I just went, woo, and just learned it.
You got it.
Yeah. I just found it easy. Yeah. I found it came easily, and I feel like it came easily because it was just meant to be. I didn't have to force it. And then I just sped through that as quickly as I could because I just wanted to finish because I'm impatient.
Are you emotionally better at this point?
Yes, because I'm with dad.
You've been to the psychiatrist. You've got
been with dad.
Support.
The only thing that I went through with my father was I told him how much my appearance gave me grief, which is, I think it's an important lesson for young women, is just love yourself as you are.
You are simply stunning. What did you see in the mirror?
So how I felt at that time was I felt like the ugliest thing alive.
Did you look like this then?
No. So I went to Dr. Tavakoli, and my first surgery I got was liposculpture. I just felt like I had the European figure. After that, Dr. Tavakoli did my breasts and he did my nose. The nose was the hardest. I wouldn't recommend anyone do their nose because it took me a year to accept the change. I said to my father, I think I need to go get it done again because I can't stand it. You don't realize how significant your face is, and to go from one nose to another nose really drastically, because it's literally over the space of a couple of hours.
What did your previous nose look like?
So it was more, it was more like my mother's, and it had more of a hook to it. My breasts were I had a beautiful breast, but they were flat, and I wanted, and again, for myself, I think this is where men, and I love men, men misconstrue things. Women do things to their body for themselves. So I had my implants done. I love my implants. 28 when I got them done. So that's like nearly 11 years now.
Yeah.
The legs, I don't regret that, except I felt like I always have had, because you have to wear compression leggings. And I always felt like it was really hard there. Like I feel like I would never recommend, and again, nothing
This is
against.
liposuction.
Yep. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. It's painful, it's long. Like just love yourself as you are.
Yes.
Breasts, if you want implants, you don't want implants. I've got a lot of women in my life now that would be anti-implants because of implant leakage and I'm very pro. If you want to have them, have them. I'm in between. Like these aren't real. I'm not all authentic. Like I'm not all natural. And isn't that interesting how women get it? Women get it. Like if a woman wants to wear makeup, they do it for them. If a woman wants to wear lingerie, they're doing it for them. Like I feel with women, if men just allow us to just be us, they will get the best of us. I say that to my current partner because of my life experience. I'm like, if you ask me to do something that I don't feel comfortable with, I say no. And it's not because I don't care about how he feels. It's that I have to look after me first. And if it's going to trigger trauma, I'm not going to do it.
But you have the perfect nose now.
Yeah, well, Dr. Tavicoli is the best.
Yeah.
You know?
Are you happy with it now?
Yeah. Now I'm at peace with it.
Great.
Now I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I take pride in my appearance. It's not my number one.
Yeah.
Number one is what's in here for me.
It's inside.
So had that with Dad. Yeah, studying, at peace. Not good relationships, still chasing men, still looking for the man, looking for validation in a man. Like,
do you think choosing the wrong people?
Yeah, because I wasn't loving myself.
Were you liking bad boys?
At that time, they weren't really bad boys. They were just like a mumbo jumbo of like, remember that Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That's what they were like because it was all online.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, I'll try you. It literally, online dating is toxic.
Yes.
It's like you're just plucking something out and it's dangerous because when I went, I would go to a public place, although you just still don't know. Whereas when you meet in person and like say, just let things happen naturally. You'll collide with them and you'll go, you feel like a good person. I feel and sense this. Yeah. Whereas online, you can't gauge that. I remember one man I was with, he had like a red Lamborghini and that was not good. That was not good. And then there was another man, he was a lot older and that was again just unfortunately, which is just my lived experience, the men that I was with during that period, it was, we're using you for sex. And that's okay. It was a lesson, right? And the experience I had in the legal industry, and this is not dissing on the industry because I'm a legal practitioner, was I wasn't treated very well by the men. And
in the workplace?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay. Like it's not okay. It's not okay. Yeah.
It's not okay.
It's like it's not okay. Yeah. I've made peace with it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where it's like I've reflected on it. If I was who I am now, I would speak up. I didn't at the time because of my age. Yeah. Like I was 24. You're a baby, really. I suppose in that field, it's been going on for so long that it's kind of like hush hush. And I think that's where women in the industry need to say, this is not okay. Yeah. Because I know that every single female magistrate, every single female judge, every single female politician would stand with me and say, this is not okay. We don't do this to our women. So I'd left the industry and I went into promotional modeling for that reason.
So you left?
Yep.
Your career?
Yep. And I went and
because of men?
Oh. Because I felt like my worth was my looks. And then when I wanted to grow, I felt like I was squashed. So I thought, I'm just going to go. When I left my first firm, it was, you're too big for your boots. So I kind of thought, you know what, they're always going to see me as the little fish. I'll move on. The next one I went to, he made a comment about how I always wore black. And I thought that was really inappropriate. Yeah. And I just didn't gel with him. I'd moved, I'd left my father because I was only with my father for 7 years. I think I'd worked out in my book 7 because I was 17 and then I was left when I was 24 and my dad was devastated. But I was like, I wanted my own space. I wanted to decorate a house and I set up We Love Dogs. And We Love Dogs, dogs spelled backwards, God.
Yes.
And loved We Love Dogs. That was really interesting.
So that was a doggy daycare?
Yep.
Yeah.
And my father said, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. Like, no one's going to pay for their dogs. And it boomed.
Of course.
People spend fortune on their dogs.
Yeah. We love our dogs.
Yes. And that's the thing. You've got like, and this is where like something I find interesting. Like, you form this bond with your clients because you're taking care of their baby. And that dog, sometimes the dog means more to people than their kids. And it just grew and it grew and it grew and it grew and it became this massive empire. And so there came a point where, and this is a critical part in the story. So I'm carrying the name Alicia Isabella through this, Alicia Isabella Spano. Running We Love Dogs. I go to Wentworth Point. I'm independent. I'm like loving life. This is great. Swimming along. And then I go on Plenty of Fish.
Oh.
And I meet my husband. And that's okay. God bless his soul. At the time, he worked for Nutrition Warehouse and it was a match, you know, like he was really ripped. He'd done this body comp. He was like into going to the beach, had his friend Michael, Archangel Michael. So we're together and I say to my father, I really don't know if I want to be with him. And I'm like, because all my boyfriends are really tall, like 6 foot. And I'm like, Dad, I'm a midget. He's a midget. My dog's a midget because Bailey's a chihuahua. That's 1.5 kilos. He has a midget car because he had a mini minor. And he lives in a midget house. Like, it was a little granny flat. And like, we're like midget family. You know what I mean? Like, if we have a kid, it's going to be a midget. And my father said to me, don't be mean. Like, I'm short, fat, and bald. Like, give him a chance. And I was like, oh, okay. And I thought, well, he's ticks all the boxes. He's
So no red
sensible.
flags?
No.
None.
I was like, he's sensible. He's the manager of Nutrition Warehouse. He didn't drink. He didn't do drugs. And I thought, okay, I'll stay with him. And I was like, oh, you're a bit sexy. That's my biggest problem. Sexy men. I'm like, oh, he's sexy. That's from my dad because he's shallow. And so we're together and I'm driving along one day at work and I thought, I'm pregnant. And I was told I couldn't have children because I have endo and pox. So I ring my dad and I say, Dad, I'm pregnant. I think, okay, well, I'll go and I'll get a test done. So I go down to where Richard was and I got the pregnancy test and I went into the bathrooms. I already knew I was pregnant because we're women. We already know what's going on with our bodies. And I knock on the back door and he's like, what's wrong? You look panicked. And I'm like, I'm pregnant. But it wasn't a happy pregnant. It was like, fuck, I'm pregnant.
Freaking out right now.
Like, this is not a good thing. And I remember he said, look, I'm always going to be like by your side. Like, I'm going to marry you, have the baby, right? Yeah. So I think I'll go along and I'll just see at the 12-week scan. Like, if everything's great, then we'll go along and have this baby. So long story short, the whole pregnancy, I'm like become just love with this baby, right? I'm like, oh, this is the best I've ever felt. Like, I just feel like in love with my body. I feel in love with this baby. And I remember I had these little headphones on and I could do this little thing
Doppler.
to hear. Yes. Yeah. We just weren't a match. That's all it is. We just weren't aligned, Richard and I. And at the time, I bought the house in Killarney Vale because I always wanted to buy a house, always wanted to do the granny flat. Richard couldn't buy the house with me because his things weren't great financially. So I bought the house. Anyway, we're together and relationship just breaks down. You didn't find me funny. I think I'm funny. And I could tell it was not going to work out.
Were you still pregnant or baby's born?
Pregnant.
And did you get married?
Yep.
You had already got married.
No, we weren't married when I was pregnant. We get married after.
You knew you weren't into it, but then you went ahead.
It went more downhill after that. Wait till you hear the rest of it.
Go.
So I'm like, fuck, can't do anything now because there's a baby on the way.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
The dad knows it's his. You're pregnant. Yeah. You're living in this house, running a business that's miles away, right? My father's running it. I'm like trying not to be a control freak.
Yeah.
Pregnant, incapable. Didn't want my clients to think that their dogs weren't a priority. So I never told them I was pregnant. And when I had my baby and I was down at work, my client goes, is that yours? He goes, when were you pregnant? because I was so dedicated to my work that I didn't want them to think that my judgment slipped.
Which is really sad.
I know, but it just
So
felt like that.
sad,
I'd always
yeah.
been so like, I just always felt like I was going to be
That's your-
judged. Would say, well, this happened because you were pregnant.
Mm.
Like you weren't on the ball. So it's like, I just won't tell anyone.
Yes.
No one will know that I'm having a baby. I'll just have the baby
Yeah.
and that's it, you know? So what ended up happening was I'd seen our relationship go downhill. I'm watching the relationship and I'm like, this is the pits, because my dad would come up on the weekend. We'd go to like the circus and we'd go to carnivals, and her father has really good work ethics and he'd work on the granny flat. So I'm never going to diss him. You know, he'd go to work, but that's all he wanted to do. Work, 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 work. And I was like, I want to have intimacy.
Yeah.
I want to hold your hand. I want to kiss you. Like, I'm very sexual. I'm like, I want to touch you. I want to feel you. I want to sleep next to you.
And he didn't match.
No. And I was like, I want to go away on a weekend where it's like, I'm on this, like, romance me. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be like the movies. Give me a movie experience, even if it's just for a weekend.
Did you say that to him?
Yes.
And he said?
I'm working, I'm providing for the family, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, we could have made the time. We weren't suitable. We just weren't a match, you know?
So
and I said that to him. So what ended up happening, so we'd planned the wedding. It was a really short wedding, $5,000, got married on the beach. Before we got married, there was an assault at the back of my head.
By him?
Yep. And then my cousin lived 2 doors down.
Out of nowhere.
No.
You had no signs of this previous.
No, not an assault like that. So the reason for the assault, and I'll take my part in it, which domestic violence is still not acceptable.
Yeah.
I didn't know why he didn't want to be intimate with me. So I'm hands up. I'm all for accountability. I took his phone and I was in my office and I was trying to open the phone because I thought, is he sleeping with someone else?
Yeah.
And he woke up and he said, where's my phone? And I said, oh, maybe it's in the lounge room, because I thought I better go get the phone, because I know you just go get it, right? And it was when I was walking towards my office that he punched me in the back of my head. And then I ran out of the door and I ran to my cousin's house, who lived 2 doors down. So there was a house in between. I still own the house. So my house is here, house in between, and there's another house. And by the way, when I disclose this, I don't want anyone to hurt my husband. No. Like, he's not my husband anymore, but I don't want anyone to go and hurt him.
No.
So anyone that's a vigilante, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Because you just end up in jail and it will link back to me. So my house is here. I run 2 doors down and then I got whacked on the side of the face. And I was like, the audacity to do that when I was actually at another house. Do you know what I mean? And that house was owned by my cousin. So my cousin came downstairs and housed me, and then he left for work. I went back, and then it just got worse. So, like, there was a hole in the door once. There was a frame thrown at me. There was a pen thrown at me.
Was there apologies?
No.
So he never apologized afterward?
No. And to this day, he probably wouldn't. It's just who he is.
How did you feel going back? Like, how did you feel when he got home that first time after going to work?
I always felt like I need to leave him.
But you didn't?
Nope.
And the bubby was still there?
Yep. And so I married him. And the night that we got married, my father said, you don't have to marry him. And I married him, and we were married for 3 months. And then I left him. Yeah. So, and I was going out at the time a lot with my friends, and it was because it was an escape. So I formed a mother's group with these women. And it was through the woman that I met at birthing classes. And so I would go out because I was like, I can't stay in this house. And being a mum,
girls need our friends.
Yeah.
We need our friends.
Yep. And being a mum was new. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, this is overwhelming. Yeah. I'm a mum. I need my friends. My husband's not intimate with me. I remember when Ivy was born, it was like a little alien. It was like, fuck, it's a crime scene. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I just don't care now. I'm like, if someone said, get your kid off, I'm like, okay. Because, like, hello, I pooed on the table.
Yes.
So I'm there, and I don't drink. I drank when I was younger, and then I was like, this isn't for me. Because I remember coming home and I was like, you know, and my best friend, Leo Romero, which is funny. His name's Leo Romero. And I grew up with him being my best friend. And Dan, who I met, through my coach. He is Dan Ramiro. Ramiro. And Dan and Leo look the same. And Leo is the star sign of the woman that's like a mother to me. And her husband is a Leo. And John and I love each other, like, because we're compatible, like Leo and Aries. And I find him fucking hilarious, you know? Anyway, so I go out with my girlfriends. This is where I met Sheriff. And this is the thing. I will never lie to Richard, the three of us. We go to a stand-up comedy show. And there is Sheriff with our friend Amanda. And it's interesting because Amanda is the name of the second partner from one of my other partners. So Amanda, there's a link there. So Sheriff's there with Amanda, beautiful woman.
And we don't know Sheriff at this point?
No. Amanda looks similar to you too. You look like Amanda and Sky. If I had Brooke here, she'd say yes.
But we do like these girls, right?
Oh, they're beautiful. Okay. So
yes.
Sheriff has these puppy dog eyes. He's got olive skin. He's Italian-Croatian, dark hair, looks a bit like a terrorist, but he's not, obviously. Tall, athletic.
I'm just picturing Aquaman.
So he's there and I'm crying. I'm like,
because your marriage is over.
He doesn't want me.
No,
he doesn't want me.
No.
And I'm like, someone want me. Yeah. Someone make love to me.
Yeah.
Like ravish me, you know? And so friends, Sheriff on Facebook. Anyway, we later find out Sheriff knows he's got issues. He's in prison, right? Where he needs to be. I'm not, what's the word? It's not a trauma bond. I'm not excusing his behavior. So I basically am chatting to Sheriff and then we form an attachment. And that's where I'm like, I need to leave my husband. And I think, all right, I have to tell him it's done. So I say to him, it's over, Red Rover. And it wasn't because of Sheriff.
No, it was just over.
It was over before Sheriff.
It was abusive.
It was over a long time before Sheriff came along. Sheriff was just the trigger, basically. So, and that's the worst thing you can do. If I could give any young woman lessons from my story, don't go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Just take a break. Find you. Although that wasn't meant to be my story, right? And then I leave my husband and he just went off the rails because he wasn't coping with the fact that he was going to lose everything. So
what was he going to lose? Because it was your house and you can still co-parent. So what's he losing? He didn't.
It was the house, because it was like, well, if you're going to leave me, then if I'm going to lose everything, then you lose everything too. So, and you can walk off into the sunset with nothing. And he said, and any man that touches you, I will chop the fingers off so they know not to touch what's not theirs. And you're lucky I don't give you a reverse mohawk and put you on a pig farm.
Are you joking?
No.
And I know your memory.
I know, and I'm not lying.
Exactly what he said, word for word.
Yeah, it was. I never forget it. And what's interesting
was it face to face?
Yeah.
Were you scared for your life?
I remember going in the room and I remember I filmed part of it. At this stage, I'd already engaged James Antoninas, the lawyer, and I was never truly frightened of him because I thought, you're full of it. Does that make sense?
No, because he had already.
I know, but for some reason, I just didn't have that fear, which is really odd.
And where was Bubby?
So our room was there and her room was there.
Yeah.
And she was so young, she was in the cot because I left when she was turning 2 that year. Okay. And then I say, you've got that period. We had a business, Lawn Works, and I said, I'll train you in it and I'll give it to you. And I'll give it to you. And his mum went as director secretary. Always had a good relationship with his mum. I said, I'll train you in it, give it to you because I have We Love Dogs. Goodbye. And he said it out of spite and he said it out of frustration.
The pig farm, reverse mohawk.
I know.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. It wasn't good. And I had a genuine fear of it could actually happen because I know people he knows.
Yeah.
So I thought this is also like it could actually happen because they own property where things just go missing. Do you know what I mean? Like if someone really wants you gone as a woman, it's not hard to go. She lives here, get her in the night, hog tie her, put her in the car.
I'm very grateful that you're here right now and alive.
Thank you. I just got like a funny look down my – and I'm with Sheriff's half-sister and when we're talking, her father is in spirit and her mother's in spirit. And every time we're talking, I get that. and that's them hugging her. And I'm like, I feel it. And I'm like, oh.
So he left. He's gone now.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep. Well, he kind of went, but he didn't go. So them two played cat and mouse because men.
Yeah.
And there
Sheriff
was
and Richard.
yes, and there was AVOs flying and criminal charges flying. So Sheriff was always trying to defend me, and you know who was trying to get at me.
Yeah.
So in my book, I call him King Charles III, and I call Sheriff Min 911 because his Min number now ends in 911, which was so funny, right? Like 911, what's your emergency in America?
Yes.
Call the fucking sheriff. Who shot the sheriff? So we've got to protect women and children, and I'm all for that. I defend men. I don't defend men and advocate for men hurting women.
Perfect.
Does that make sense?
That was one of my questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I defend men and tell men now move on.
Because you're a criminal lawyer now, and you will be very choosy and very picky with who
I defend. Yeah. Because I don't promote domestic violence.
Absolutely.
I am not pro-violence. So I'm with Sheriff, AVOs, flying. And so that's all going on. We're going through family law. We settled Ivy's orders really quickly with this beautiful mediator, and the orders were drafted on the 8th of April, which is my birthday. So they're going to each other. We have the family law matter, resolve Ivy's. In the child impact report, it was recommended for individual therapeutic intervention for him. He just wasn't coping. And I feel like I say to my father, I feel like he's very stuck in the past. Like he's a concreter, and I go, stuck. You know what I mean? Like just stuck.
Stuck in the mud.
Yes.
Stuck in the concrete.
Yes. It's like you're not moving on. Like move on, you know? And then I make the joke. I'm like, what's the nickname for Richard? It's Dick, and he shouldn't eat Dick. So they're having
he'll remember what he did.
Yes. And then he'll feel shame, which means he needs to work on his stuff, right?
He needs to work on his stuff.
Yes. Although some men just aren't going to in this lifetime unless they choose. They can make a conscious choice to change. Yeah. They have to make that choice themselves. Yeah. So they're at each other. We settle the property matter a lot later on. That took a lot longer. And I paid out 25 grand. And that's interesting because 5 and 2 is 7. 7 is heaven. It was the ideal figure. Just get rid of it. And so we settle all of that. We walk away. And then that's where he makes the biggest mistake. So he catfished Sheriff. So Sheriff, I don't want to disclose everything about Sheriff. Let's just paint the picture that Sheriff is, imagine like an Italian man that's very love, that then I didn't know that he has an addiction. Yeah. So imagine sex and drugs together, not a good mix, right? So he gets catfished and photographs get taken from Sheriff through a woman. And the woman,
a fake woman.
Yep.
A Richard woman.
Yep. So the woman gives the photographs to my husband. Yeah. I say husband, but you know I'm divorced from him by now. So this is where I say to women, cut cords. So like cut the cord with, get orders for your kid, get orders for property, get a divorce, cut. If you leave things open, you're leaving cords of attachment open. Your kid, you will always have a cord because your kid has the DNA of the father and the trauma from the two of you. So, you know, do the best you can, right? And you can't resent your kid because your kid will reflect back traits of the partner, right? Because I would reflect back to him through her traits of me. Yeah. The kid's the in between, the poor kid, right? So gets the catfish, he edits the photographs and he chops Sheriff's head off in the photographs, and Sheriff is naked. I am naked. Well, I'm not naked. I have one breast. Are you in the
photos?
So my photos, So I sent photographs to Sheriff when we were together. Yeah. Sheriff, without my permission, sent them to this woman. I fucking died.
So that just delve deeper for me. That means that he asked for the photos.
Yep. Well, he was having a discussion with Sheriff about a threesome.
Oh,
so she knew what to ask.
So he was just wanting photos of you.
was fishing for information.
Yeah.
So in family law, we do something called discovery, right? Discovery is when you do your due diligence and you extract documents, right? And you'll go, and if you are doing what's called fishing expedition, the court will not allow you to do it anymore. The court will actually say, tell us the specific documents and why.
Yeah.
Now, we're not in a court, right? We're in the game of life.
Yeah.
So he is going fishing for information from sheriff.
Yeah.
So she casts out her rod. She catches sheriff because why? Easy target, right? Idiot.
Yeah.
No offense, sheriff. Love you in my way. He sends these photographs. Do you think I know about this?
No.
Correct, because you're smart. You're a woman. So then I get a message on my phone sending me. It's like dealt the cards.
From him
No.
or from the catfish?
Nope.
From
the father of my child.
Wow.
Remember? K-I-D, kid. Kid spelt backwards, D-I-K.
And then you're like, how did you get these?
I died.
What did he say when he texted them?
Our daughter's at risk. You're living with a criminal. Blah, 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 blah. Look at this. Look at how he's treating the mother of my child. Blah, 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 blah. And I wrote back saying, if I was aware of this, he got convicted in the local court of that. When he got convicted in the local court, he then appealed and went to the district court, and they gave him a Parker warning saying, mate, if you're going to continue with this, we know it was you, then you're going to go in. So a Parker warning means we'll give you a more harsh sentence. So he just withdrew it, and then he got photographed, and it's in the Daily Telegraph. So he's paid his dues.
Yes.
So that was an intensive corrections order and an ADVO protecting Sheriff and I. Then it stopped. He kind of like leveled out, except what he did is he just bounced from different area, and he would prioritize, again, working and prioritize making money, which is great. I love that her father has great work ethics. The issue is he didn't prioritize her.
Yeah.
So the orders that were made were never followed. It was like, I'll just do what I want when I want, and you take care of her, and I'll just show up when I want. And the issue with that is that there was no point in filing for like a contravention or an enforcement, because it would have been a waste of time and a waste of money. Because even if you get an enforcement order saying you need to follow these orders, do you think that you can really make someone follow them? You can't make someone go pick up their kid.
No.
You can't make someone be a parent. I kept just facilitating, going, okay, well, I'll just take it, cop it. Like, I'll just make it work.
Yeah.
I'll just go with the flow.
Yeah.
And there was just one thing after the next thing, after the next thing, after the next thing, which she would disclose. Then there was issues where she would be like yelling at the door, being like, I don't want to go, as she got older. This was where she started to speak up. She was about year 2. And so it was this year that she'd just been like, I had enough.
Don't want to go.
And crying. And then it got reported. I reported what had happened to the appropriate agencies, and I put him and his mum on notice. That's what I was doing. And I put him on notice to contact a lawyer, and now it's with lawyers, because her wishes are, I don't want anything to do with him. When there was school photos, I made sure that school photos have been sent to him. His Father's Day present, I make sure that it's going to go to him. I keep asking her. I'm very pro just respect a kid's wishes.
Yeah.
I believe that she knows who her dad is. I believe that she should have some relationship with her paternal family. I believe that anything from here moving forward should just start with supervision. They need to assess it, because I'm not a child expert. I'm just a mum.
Yeah.
And she's the in-between. I then learn about drugs, because I've never taken drugs. And I went, okay, I've got to get rid of him. Goodbye. Love you, but goodbye, right? Kids at risk. Can't have my kid at risk.
And that's okay as well.
Yes, and he knows that even to this day, because we associate with each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we seal that off. I then sell We Love Dogs, dog spelled backwards, God. Then what happened is I go back to law, and I go back to James. And I said to James, I'm going to work for you for, I won't say the figure, but the figure actually totals 7 again. I just realized that. 7, heaven. perfect number. And I did menu log at the same time to just subsidize it. And I chose James because I felt safe with him because I knew him. I knew that he'd allow me to work from home. I could be there for my dad. I could be there for Ivy. My priority is always my family. So I'm with him for 2 years. That's where it circles back. So we've gone from Lauren Alicia to Alicia Isabella. I'm with N. James B at this time. When I was with N. James B, he met this woman in Coles and he said, "Oh, we're just soul family." And I'm like, bullshit. Because on his Instagram, she was doing the dirty dancing move.
Yeah.
So he's on the sand like this. She's running. Oh my God, she was so sexy. Long dark hair, red bikini.
Yeah.
Launches into his arms. I was gutted.
Yeah.
Everyone's ringing me. "Oh, we saw this video of you. It's not me."
It's not me.
So I was like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Then like I saw on his phone this photo of them in the change room together. I'm like, Nathan, that ain't friends.
No.
But anyway, I forgive him.
Yeah.
And he's sexy, but he's got problems.
Mm.
You have problems. Fix your shit. He needs to know. I'm not their friend. I'm their dictator. That's women. We dictate to men. Do. Like in court. When I say stand up, stand up. Sit down, sit down. Like a dog. So anyway, I leave him. Oh, and I do this
When you're
list.
in court, are you super professional?
Yes,
or
I have to be normal.
Yeah.
So boring. So our gym, I'm standing here and there's this man. I'm like, oh my God. And so he contacts me on Instagram. Anyway, so he stalks me online. Everyone stalks online, right?
Yeah.
Just a given.
Yeah.
He contacts me because he's separated. We had a great relationship where it wasn't toxic. We loved each other. The thing was, we were together all the time, and he had his stuff at the beginning that he had to work through, which he was consciously aware that it was a thing for him. Everybody knows, and I don't want to tarnish his reputation, that he'd left women like, and hey, I'm no angel. Look at my pattern.
Yeah.
And so he has a men's group, the Fellowship, which I said to my partner today, I'm going to say, like, if you need any help, guys, look it up. And he has an app, Wallowin. And so we're together. I loved his mother because his mother lived in the granny flat like my father. And they have a beautiful family. They're a really big family and they're all together.
Yeah.
Which is really lovely, whereas mine is scattered, right?
Same.
Like I built my family, if that makes sense. My family is my soul family because my family was broken. I've come from a broken family. My family is literally Ivy and my father and my soul family, which is made up of all these players, which we're connected as through soul connections. Okay, so we end up separate. I just got really drained. And I love his children. I didn't want to be a mother to 6 children. I didn't want to be a mother to 6 children. I was getting really bored. I couldn't cope with that many kids. I stayed because my daughter was happy and my daughter was very attached to his third daughter, 3 Wisdom, and she's Aries like me. And so I leave him. And I was back doing law with James and I was like, fuck, this is draining the life out of me. Like, I'm not happy. Like, I'm earning not much money. I'm doing menu log. And he was focused on his men's group and he does really well with men. He's more focused on the physical though, not the spiritual. Even though he's an Aboriginal man, he'll go to grounding. I feel like with spirit though, that connection is different to that connection. Women are witches. Well, some.
We're definitely connected.
Yes,
100%.
yes. Whereas men will go to ground, right? And men are the protectors. If we think we're still primal.
Yeah.
So the male's role is to protect and the woman's role is to nurture. So anyway, I knew it was coming to an end. It ended. And I was like, I want to die. But it wasn't because of him. It was because I was like, I can't do this. I laid in my bed and I took the sleeping tablets and I was like, I want to die. I want to die. And I was praying and praying and praying and praying, saying, please just take me. Please just take me. Please. And at the time I was like, his father had met this woman when I'd met my partner. So when I met LG, 5 kids, who's now got 7, the father of my child had met his current partner that had a K for a name and she's blonde. and they'd met. She fell pregnant around Halloween. By March, the child was born. So they have a little boy together. So I was sitting there. I'm like, okay, well, she's a really great mum. Actually, she has her first name is the same as my sister's middle name. Isn't that interesting? Sisters. And she's got the hot air balloon tattoo. When you do timeline, you go up in a hot air balloon and you look above your timeline to heal your shit. And she's got 2 kids, HH, heaven, get it? So anyway, back to that. Anyway, so I leave and I go downhill. My mum comes up, my dad comes up. My mum's like, I think you should go on antidepressants. I'm like, I don't want to because I got really hot hands the last time. Anyway, I thought, okay, well, fine, I'll just give it a go. And I was like, not coping with it because I just don't really cope with pharmaceuticals. Pro choice, if you want to take pharmaceuticals, it has its place, right? Like you have to go to hospital and have, fuck, if I'm in pain, give me the methane.
I cannot live without.
Yeah. Like if I'm dying, please give me the morphine, right? Anyway, it was really hard, but I had to let go. And my daughter didn't cope because my daughter comes home. She's like, writes this little prayer. Dear God, my mum is really upset. This is where all the divine guidance came in. It was fucking and blows your mind. This is where it's freaky and all the links start coming.
Yeah.
So I get up and I'm walking along the lake and my mate, Martin, amazing, Australian Army Reserve soldier, he's running. And at the time, I couldn't see my friends. I start running with him. So I'm running with Martin, found my passion for running, did my first marathon, loving life. I connect with Dee that rhymes with me, same frequency, we're runners. Then I meet another LG, 5 kids, and she's a woman. And she knows all my ex-partners and she's like, they're so sexy. And I'm like, don't go for the sexy ones. And she laughs because she's like, you're always so bubbly. And she's like indestructible, this woman, runs for fucking days. At that point, I changed from conscious lawyers to ivory legal. And it's funny because when I was at parole, this guy said, you just sit there on your ivory tower. So what happens is ivory legal and I'm with my friend the whole time, right? Because he's like, get back into it. And he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, really fucking tall. And I'm fucking Danny DeVito. Yeah. And so we're training, do that. Then I'm applying for all these jobs. I'm like, fuck, I need to get out of law. It's really triggering. Like, give me a different job. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Anyway, this job comes up at community corrections and I apply. I do all the cognitive testing. I get through, but I never hear back from them. And I get this email, right, from this woman. I don't know if I want to say their names because I want to protect them because they're at risk because they deal with criminals. So S sends me this email. I'm like, yes, 100% I'm going to go in for the interview. Loving it, right? Crime, law, rehab. Give me the job, right? Yes. I'm like, I'm going to get the job. I'm going to get the job. Go for the interview. The TL was there. Get the job. I'm like, this is so exciting. And I hate jobs because I've been self-employed, right? Anyway, go in there. I felt safe for the first time in my life. I loved it. No, it was at community corrections.
Okay, but so you're not going into jails?
Nope.
They come to you?
Yep. So what happens, we're in the Mariners building, which is really beautiful building.
Yeah.
And there's this coffee shop downstairs and we're upstairs. So actually you're the in-between. Okay?
Yeah.
Remember the word in-between because later in the story, the in-between's relevant. So I'm at Wyong Community Corrections. All this team is this side. There's rooms. And then you can't call them offenders anymore. They're called clients. The clients come in to a room and they sit with their officer in the in-between and you rehabilitate them.
Uh-huh.
They go, you go back in, you see them once a fortnight, once weekly, depending on their risk rating. So like you do an assessment on them when they first come in. It's called an intake assessment. And then you do the LSIR and their CIA, they get a risk. And that's where I notice patterns with them. Because if you look at their criminal history, you see their pattern. And they go, oh, this is alcohol and it's every 2 years or it's this and that. Now, this is where the freaky shit happened. This is where I was like, this is fucking creepy.
Yeah.
This is where the Sopranos with the Spano and others, every fucking offender reflected back to me something about me. So there was one that had the name King and she was blonde and I was brunette and her brother had killed and it was about her kid and she was like OCD and wanted the house to be clean. And I was like, this sounds a lot like me. And then she was like, you're the most caring officer I've ever had. You actually care. And she hugged me. And she was in the newspaper. And she was like, thank you. And I was like, just block them. Move on.
Yeah.
Just start a new life with this new baby.
Yes.
Then I had another guy that sat there and he was like this. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to break him.
Uh-huh.
Right. In the end, he's like smiling and laughing. And he was like, I like you.
Yeah.
And then it was upsetting because his order was ending. And he was like, I need you still. Because I said, keep talking to people. And he's like, I need to just follow you because what you're doing is helping me.
Yeah.
And I said, I care about you having your kids. The thing is that you need to do the work and you need to focus on you and you need to run and you need to go to the sunrise and you need to be a better person.
Yeah.
And if that's your goal, you need to do baby steps towards it. Like I was coaching him, right? Then I had another guy and I'll just say one word of his name. It was Junior. And it was like he was me. Because he was like, when I was in prison, they just needed dads. And I was like, well, I need my daddy.
Yeah.
And then he was born on the same date as me,
Oh.
the same birthday. And then there was another man who I really cared for, and he had a family, and it was so freaky because his surname was nearly the same as mine, and he was Aboriginal. And I was like, you're Aboriginal and you look like me. So it was all mirroring back. But I felt like, again, between a rock and a hard place because I was like, I actually have empathy for these guys because I would be in their situation if it wasn't for my dad, because I would have either been in prison, a mental asylum, or dead. And if we do the gun, prison, mental asylum, dead, what does that do? Shot, right? Shot to pieces. Basically, you wouldn't have survived, right?
I'm so glad you are where you are
Same.
today. I honestly,
Same.
God, I'm so glad.
And that was the reason I was supposed to live to tell the story with the connections. So I then formed really great relationships with my team. And I go Walton, which is the same surname as the woman that has the kid with the same date as mine. Then,
swear to God, like I said to you earlier, you need to work for the FBI. I reckon
because I could just piece it together.
You could just.
Yeah, I'm quick.
You are.
I'm usually faster.
Unravel
any
easy. Puzzle.
Yep, easy. Because I just go I go numbers and then I just connect with spirit and I get the downloads.
Yeah, you do.
And they tell me. They go, look at this, look at that, look at the numbers, look at the name, see the links. I piece together puzzles. So I leave community corrections. They're lovely. There was no bad blood. I meet a Fuentes, criminal lawyer. Now, when I meet him, we mirror each other. Remember the movie Netflix, 2:22? Okay. Then I'm like, this is freaky. That young man and I end up together romantically. Now, he's 10 years younger than me, son of Achilles, healed my Achilles. I am 10 years older, right? So we separate. And he in the messages says, you won't die alone. You're a beautiful woman. You're like an angel from the heavens above. You've opened up new visions, all these beautiful words. At this point, this is where I rose back as Aradia. Get it?
Yeah.
I stepped back into the reincarnation of who I always was and who I always will be. And I go, fuck, I'm actually that woman that I picked up in the gospel in the year of change when I was with the spiritual dude. And I start piecing it together because I've got 888 is Jesus Christ. I'm embodying that. And I'm like, am I the fucking witch in the movie Suicide Squad? You know that movie? Or then I'm like, am I Harley Quinn? Because I pick up a matter, right? And on the papers, because the criminal law papers started to spell everything out. So I get a matter. I have to look up because I'm trying to remember. I get a matter from my mate. I get it on my birthday. I go to Cessnock local court. Remember I got my training at Cessnock for psychic medium? I go there. The guy looks like Harley Quinn. He comes out. He's tall. He's got pigtails. He's got a little teardrop. And I'm like, don't worry, God's lawyer's here, you know? And when I walked in, the magistrate was Richard Son. Remember, my husband, Richard, had a son. All the papers mirrored back to me when I was back as a psychic medium. Mirror, 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 okay? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Then what happens after that is I get all these other matters where it's Monday on a Monday. So it was MUNDAY, and I was an agent. I said to the magistrate, I said, Monday on a Monday. Get it? It's funny. And then I kept seeing number plates where it said Fry, yay, and it put 221. I'm like, that's a fucking Friday. Then all this other weird shit. So I was in court and I took a photo of the papers afterwards because I'm like, that's freaky. Legal documents of real living men, real living women. Yes, are giving me signs, okay, of who I am. Crazy. In other words, I'm half human, half spirit. Yeah. So that's who Achilles was. Achilles, the greatest warrior of all time, was half-half. Yeah. His weakness was his Achilles. And that's
so this Aradia is going to be strong forever, right? This is you now. This is you
Well, yeah,
for
that's
good.
it. Yeah.
This
I
is it.
die as I am.
The Trinity, the Holy Trinity.
Oh, I didn't know about
Lauren,
the Holy Trinity.
Huh?
You're teaching me something now.
We have Lauren,
Yes,
Alicia,
Aradia. That's it.
and Aradia.
Yep.
That is the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I
I
want the
die as I
very
am.
best for you, girl.
Oh, thank you.
And whether it's this guy or the next, it doesn't matter.
Yes,
I just want
correct.
you happy.
Yes. Do you
I
know?
want Ivy happy, and I want you safe.
Same. So my goal, and this is what I've said to my father. So in that, I find God in the haven. Did I explain the haven on the podcast, what it is and how it works?
No, but I'll put a link.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go on. The haven essentially replicates the universe. And what was really interesting is when I find God in the haven at Terrigal, I actually notice that all these signs that I was meant to be there. And you know why? On the siren, so we have a nightclub called Sirens, it's burnt down and there's an A like my signature on the front of it. And so it was mirroring and I was like, this is playing out like a fucking movie. And then at court, which is hilarious, there's this guy that walks in with a puppet and that's his lawyer. So it's an actually ventriloquist.
He's actually, so hang on.
This is where it gets funny, right?
What?
It's like a movie.
Say it again.
Okay, so his lawyer.
Who? The client?
The defendant, not my client. This dude at Wyong.
Yeah.
Wyong got it wrong.
Yeah.
Or like it's just wrong.
Walks in with a puppet.
Yes, and that's his lawyer. A ventriloquist. I got a photo of it. That's his lawyer.
Did
Isn't
he
that
win
funny?
the case? Did he win?
And sometimes he comes in with a clown wig.
Did he win?
I don't know. I just laugh at it. And then the registrar there has the same surname as my cousin, which is funny.
Yeah.
So when I go along, and this is where the links happen, and I piece together, oh, everyone in our community is like a movie. I go to Bellyfish, like Underbelly. There you've got Adam and Steve. Get it? Adam and Eve. And guess what Steve's surname is? Jury. Get it? Jury of your peers. Yeah. And then Steve, you cut it off, Eve, and I always felt judged by women. Like women will be the judge and jury of, you know, or whatever, like jury of my peers. Women, please save me. Like, don't make out like I'm crazy, because that was my greatest fear. Are they going to lock me up saying you're a fucking nut job?
They will not lock you up. What they should do, like I say, is
utilize it. I know, but I'm too scared to go to them and say, hey, look at this shit that I pieced together. So
just say, give me a code. I'm going to break it. Give me your hardest code. I'll break it.
I'd be like, help me.
Just
help
do
me.
It. Just do it. Now, we've talked for 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
That's all right. I have my very last question for you that I ask all of my guests when they come on my podcast. Aradia.
Yes.
Aradia, have you ever seen a ghost or a UFO?
No. I know they're there. I haven't seen them. I know people that have, and I know it all exists. It's just the unseen.
You're the same as me.
Yeah.
Wear a mirror.
It just exists. Yeah. Just accept that it exists.
Exactly.
And accept that it's there.
Exactly.
You know, and you create something that you have a vision and you just create it. That's it. And my belief in men that are criminals, they can change if they choose to. But they have to make the conscious choice to.
I love your brain.
It's 3 hours wisdom.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of energy, but
the way that your brain, the way that your brain works and the way that you can storytell, I want you safe and I want you happy. Yeah. That's what I want. And I'm so proud of the woman you are today. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I cannot wait to read this book.
Thank you. I'm so excited to give it to you. And I'll sign it and everything. Yes, and it's be legendary. The book of reincarnation. Well, it proves we can reincarnate.
Yes.
And when we don't heal and seal our karma, guess what? We come back.
Yes.
Back from the dead.
Yep.
Jed. Love you, Jed.